number from base 10 into another base, one of the ways I can do it is by following the steps I have here. So the first thing I want to do is list the place values of the base you are changing to until you find one larger than your number. So I just want to list them out until I find the one that is bigger than the number that I'm starting with. Next, divide the base 10 numeral by that place value. Okay, just divide. Get your whole number part, your quotient, get your remainder. Okay, not a decimal, get a remainder. The whole number quotient is the digit that should be in the place value you just divided by. So if I divided by the 16 cubes place, I should put that digit I get, the quotient, in the 16 cubes place. If I divide by the 7 to the 5th place, I should put that quotient in the 7 to the 5th place. Okay, then take your remainder and divide your remainder by the next smallest place value. The whole number quotient is the digit that should be in the place value you just divided by. Okay, dividing by one of these numbers, one of these place values, gives me what I should have there. And then I repeat the steps above until only the ones place is left. The remainder from the last division should be the digit in the ones place. I don't need to divide by the ones place because dividing by 1 will just give me the number and I should be done. So let's do a couple examples of this. I want to change the following base 10 numeral to the indicated base. I want to change 10 to base 5. Now I'm just going to list out the place values for our benefit here. Place value, first place value in base 5 is 5, and then, is 1, and then 5 is the first. And then 5 squared, which is 25. 25 is too big, so I'm actually going to start here with 5. So I take my number, divide it by that. 10 divided by 5, well 10, 5 goes in there 2 times. Subtract gives me a remainder of 0. So in base 5, 10 is 2 in the 5's place. And then I was 2 the ones place, so a 0 in the ones place, base 5. Okay, I didn't need to do a lot of steps there, and in fact I wouldn't have even divided, but because I could see that there are two 5's in the number 10, it gives me 2 0 base 5, but that's the idea here. Okay, let's do one that's just a little bigger. I want to change the number 27 to base 7. So I'm going to list out the places of base 7, 1, 7, 49. 49 is too big, so I'm going to start with 7. So I take 27 divided by 7, and that's going to go in there 3 whole times. 3 times 7 is 21. I subtract, that gives me a 6, so a remainder of 6. So that's 3 7s. So 2 7 is 3 in the 7's place, a 6 in the 1's place, base 7. And that makes sense to me. It's 21 and 6 more, so 3 7s and 6 more. Perfect. Okay, let's change 54 to base 2. Well, the place values in base 2 are 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. 64 is too big, so I'm going to start with 32. 54 divided by 32, well, that goes in there once. 1 times 32 is 32, subtract. It's me a 2 and a 2, so remainder 22. Okay, so now I'm going to take my remainder and divide it by the next smallest place value, which is 16. Well, that goes in there once. 1 times 16 is 16. Subtract gives me a 6, so remainder 6. So now I'm going to take that 6 and divide it by 8. Okay, you need to do this step at least to notice that goes in there 0 times. Okay, so there should be a 0 in the 8's place. Now I'm going to take my remainder, divide it by 4. Well, that goes in there once. 1 times 4 is 4. Gives me a remainder of 2. So now I'm going to take my remainder, divide it by my next smallest place value, which is 2. That goes in there once. Gives me no remainder. And my next place is the 1's, so the 1's will be this 0, and I'm ready to write this number. 54 is 132, 116, 0 8s, 1, 4, 1, 2, and 0, 1s base 2. So 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0 base 2 is the number 54. Okay, one more example. I want to change the number 6,134 to base 16. So bases or numbers in base 16 are 1, or place values in 16, sorry, are 1, 16, 16 squared, which is 256, 16 cubed, which is 4,096, 16 to the 4th, which is 65,536. That's too big, so I'm going to start with 4,096. So 6,134 divided by 4,096. I can see that's going to go in there once. And I think it's worth my time to type that in my calculator here. I get 2,038, so remainder 2,038. So now I'm going to take 2,038 and divide it by the next smallest place value, which was 256. My calculator tells me that goes in there 7, almost 8 times. So I have 7. 7 times 256 is 1,792. Subtract 2038 minus 1792 gives me 246. So remainder 246. So I need to take that 246, divide it by my next smallest place value, which is 16. I see that that goes in there 15 times. 15 times 16 is 240. Subtract gives me a 6. So remainder 6, which is good. I was in my 1st place anyway. So 6,134 is a 1 in the 16 cubed place, a 7 in the 16 squared place. Oh, I can't write a 15 there. I need to remind myself A is 10, B is 11, C is 12, D is 13, E is 14, so F is 15. So this should be an F in the 16's place, and then a 6 in the 1's place, base 16. So there is the number 6,134 written in base 16 or hexadecimal.